He's with an organization that he founded called Turning Point USA, and it's about getting those 18 to 35s engaged and informed so that even if they don't have skin in the game quite yet at 18 or 21 or 25, that they start thinking independently, that they get exposed to the arguments, exposed to the scholarship, and he is providing the way for a new generation of conservative grassroots. Charlie Kirk.
Thank you. Our organization, Turning Point USA, we do some very interesting things throughout the state and the country. We're hosting a series of debates in the Midwest, getting into colleges and challenging the principles that are being taught in the classrooms and the lecture halls. And I'm going to tell you a story, and unfortunately it's true. What if I told you that in our schools, in our high schools, the economics book that the kids are learning from is from an economist who wrote a book called Conscience of a Liberal? What if I told you that the teachers are teaching from a book that said the collective thought should be encouraged? What if I told you that in our high schools, right now, as our school is in session, that the teachers are teaching things that the Reagan tax cuts did not accelerate economic growth? Who's heard of Paul Krugman? Paul Krugman from the New York Times, Slime? He wrote our economics textbook up in Wheeling High School. In our high school. And what if I told you that the teachers made a movement and a petition to stop teaching anything before 1860 because it's not relevant? What if I told you I got in a debate with a teacher over the relevancy of Thomas Jefferson and George Washington? What if I told you I got kicked out of class right after that? I'm going to read a part of this book, Krugman's Economics for the AP, what our kids are learning in our high schools, where your public funds are going. And this is not a small school district, just on a corner. This is High School District 214. Wheeling High School, Hersey High School, Prospect High School, Elk Grove High School. It's a massive school district, 12,000 students, go to school every day. And I'm going to read a little part. And brace yourselves. According, this is to most economists, no citation, they can consensually agree, that the Reagan tax cuts showed no acceleration of economic growth and that the collective trumps over the individual. Well, so how do we fight it? We need to empower the young people to stand up against their teachers, to stand up to the professors, and that's exactly what our group is doing. We've hosted debates, and our last debate, you guys got a kick out of this, is at the University of Wisconsin at Madison. When we were thinking about planning these debates, I said, well, we can go to the regular schools, but we need to find one place where we can really get the rafters going. And I said, well, there's no place better than UW-Madison. Because when we go there, we got some emails, and we said, well, why don't we invite MoveOn.org and Occupy Madison? Oh, they'll be there, and they'll be there in full force. But we're not afraid, because we have the thing on our side, and contrary to what President Clinton said, the math is on our side, and it adds up on our side. Quick numbers, $16 trillion in debt, $5 trillion in the last 4 years. But the most interesting thing is that we do have a skin in the game. My generation does, because Washington is spending my money. They are stealing future generations' money. They are stealing prosperity as we speak. Every day that the debt increases, our freedom decreases. So what do we do about it? Well, I got a kick out of Clint Eastwood's empty chair routine, but it was more relevant because I connected it to what's happening in our school districts. Too often in our school district school board meetings, there's a lot of empty chairs when they go to that school board meeting. And there's a reason that they make the school board meeting 7 hours long, going to like 11 o'clock at night, and they talk about nothing, and then about for 30 seconds of it, they'll slip in something important. They do that intentionally. But that empty chair was when the parent did not speak up for when that economics textbook got approved. Where was the parent when the teachers signed that petition to try to get the Declaration of Independence out of our schools? That is the true empty chair in this country, because our youth is uneducated. But why are they uneducated? It's because there are too many empty chairs happening across the society. People are not standing up and letting their voice be heard. So what do we do about it? You don't be afraid. You have courage. You draw inspiration from our leaders, such as Congressman Paul Ryan, Governor Scott Walker, and you take that and you go right back at them with our greatest weapon. What is it? Math. $5 trillion in debt in 4 years, $16 trillion in the hole. Can you look at your children with all honesty and say, I'm leaving you a better tomorrow? No. So, what again? How can you make your voice be heard? Of course, vote. Who here's going to vote? Everybody's going to vote, right? How many people know one person who voted for Barack Obama last year? I can name about 600 people. But if you get one person who voted for Barack Obama last time, and you get them to vote the right way this time, we double our impact. Think about how simple it is. But even if they don't vote at all, it's a win for our cause. But if you can get them to change their vote, you can double this room. If you can get 2 people, it keeps on multiplying and multiplying. That is the conservative message sometimes gets diluted throughout a national scene. But if you can double the impact nationally, win by a landslide. Take back the House, the Senate, and we get fiscally responsible people back in government. Because there's one final thing that the founders used to say. It is imperative on future generations to leave a better tomorrow for our children. Thomas Jefferson wrote in some of his final memoirs, we cannot let our leaders load us with perpetual debt. I'm not, and you're not. Get out in the public square, let your voice be heard, have courage, and stand up to the teachers, and do not let our schools be overthrown by these big government progressives. Thank you.